Hello, everybody, and welcome to the False Prophets podcast. I am your host, Phil Risden, and Manny Perez is nowhere to be found, but it is what it is. God damn, I know we've been gone for a while, but I'm back here. I'm trying to hold things down. And before we get started, I want to talk to all my Jamaican listeners and tell them I don't want the smoke. I don't want the smoke, okay? You niggas need to leave me alone. You need to stop being up in my comment section talking all sorts of shit. I am good. I am fine, and I am sorry if I offended you in any way. Man, I want the smoke, man. It's terrible Jamaican accent, and I am Jamaican, but it is what it is, bro. And if you niggas don't know any of my avid listeners, I'll just piece it together for you, man. I know I've been gone, but at the same time, I have still been on the internet here wreaking havoc. And I was on my boy Moxie Approves video talking about an Asian woman who is born and raised in Jamaica, and basically her whole thing is that Jamaica is a multicultural country and shit, and it's not an African country. It's not a black country. The accent doesn't come from any like Yoruba or any sort of African dialects. And basically, she was trying to break down, steal all the blackness out of Jamaica, and I had a problem with it. Tons of people had a problem with it. My one thing though was just saying that because she was basically saying that basically the Jamaican accent, it doesn't come from Africa at all. It comes from Ireland purely, and it's more of a dialect of Irish English. And my whole thing was saying that she's partially right. It stems from that type of shit, yeah, sure. But also, you can't deny the amount of African people that were there. Basically, what I'm saying is, bitch, just because you got made fun of in high school doesn't mean that, now Jamaica is not an African country, okay? I understand that you're Asian and shit out there, and there are other people. There's Indian people there, too. There's Asian people. There's all sorts of motherfuckers. I don't fucking know. But the fact of the matter is, Jamaica's a black country. My nigga. Jamaica's a bad country. You know what I mean? There's black people in Ireland. Ireland's a white country. You know what I'm saying? I hate weird type of semantics that motherfuckers try to get into just because of their childhood traumas, man. How sad is that type of shit? That being said, shout out to my Jamaican / Chinese homies, and shout out to the Jamaicans out there who got mad at me for saying that she was partially right about the accent. All I'm saying is, yes, there were Irish people there. So yes, our shit can be seen as partially a slight derivative of their shit, considering the fact that the Africans that got picked up on a goddamn boat didn't speak a lick of English. So who they learn the English from? The Irish and the English. How about you hop on my fucking dick, okay? And maybe some goddamn dumpling or something. I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. Dance to Vibe Cartel. Don't be all up in my fucking, my comment section talking shit, okay? I love my people, but sometimes you niggas get too rowdy and you talk too much shit, and sometimes I need to put you down, okay? Sometimes I need to roll up the newspaper and whack you right on the nose, all right? Because you're wrong. You're wrong. That being said, I do live in Flatbush, so there's a lot of you niggas. Don't roll up on me. Don't roll up on me. Oh, so good to see you guys. I had to get that out. Okay, I had to do it. I had to say something. So good to see you guys, man. A lot of shit has been happening to me, man. A lot of good things have been happening to me. I might be getting a dog. That's a fact. I might be getting a dog, and it's gonna be it's a border collie, one of those it's like this big. It has a good size to it. It's a nice dog, but I'm getting a friendly dog, which is something that black people do not do. Okay, black people do not get friendly dogs. We get guns that you can pet. That's what black people get. We get the pit bulls. We get the Rottweilers. We get the Dobermans. That's our type of shit. Nigga, we would be getting German Shepherds too, but we had some beef back in the 60s, so we've been staying away from them. But I swear to God, if we didn't have that, nigga, every black person that you would ever see would have a German Shepherd. That's how shit goes. So I don't really know what's going to happen when I get this, what's going to actually happen to me when I get this nice ass, calm ass border collie dog that's just there to love me, is that am I gonna lose my invitation to the BET Awards? What happens? I'm excited to find it out, just as a social experiment. Does every time a black family gets a fucking Every time a black family gets a golden retriever, do they lose their black card? You know, do we take away their reparations or their chance for reparations? It's not like any of us have gotten them. I always wonder that type of shit, man. I always wonder. I'm like, yo, black people, like, we don't have. What is the deal with that? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that honestly? And the simple fact that, like, bro, we collectively as a culture have been through so much fucking trauma that it might be nice to have a dog that is not vicious and loves you unconditionally. Okay? Like you might owe it to yourself emotionally and mentally to get a dog that you don't have to fight for dominance every time you get in the house. Okay? Because sometimes black people have the worst types of dogs, which is hilarious because, like, a lot of black people are scared of dogs, but it's like, yeah, you're only scared of dogs because the average nigga who has a dog in your neighborhood treats it like shit, doesn't walk it, puts it in the bathroom when friends are around and shit, so it's just snarling. Anytime someone friendly comes around, they throw it in the bag so it doesn't get to socialize, and then when it comes out, it's now vicious, man. You know, god damn it, bro. We need love out here. We need love. Dogs need love. We need love. Let's mold this shit together. We don't need to fight, you know? Especially with Caribbean people. They hate that shit too, man. I don't know what it is about Caribbeans specifically, and not just black Caribbeans. You know what I mean? We can talk Latin Caribbeans too. You know what I mean? Like, it's really just more of an immigrant thing. If you were an immigrant person who is not a white person, you hate animals. I feel like that needs to come out. That needs to be put out there because that is such a huge fucking thing, bro. You know how hard it was to get my mother to even consider fucking getting a dog, and then all my grandma had to say was nah. You know, like, cause my family, bro, they come from the bush, bro. Like, so unless an animal has some sort of function, that shit does not exist in our world. We don't want it around, or they don't want it around. Okay, you know, shit's tough. Like when it comes to immigrant people, animals can only exist if they have a job. You know, a Rottweiler has to have a 401k in order to sleep next to your bed. Those are the rules. It has to do something. It has to hunt. It has to find shit. It has to do shit. It can't just love you. Nigga, loving is not a job. Loving is not a job unless you have an OnlyFans. Loving is not a job. So it's crazy. I lived in that paradigm. Now I open my heart. Now I'm trying to find different things in my life, bro. Trying to experience new things. And the first thing I'm experiencing is a white dog. You know? And that's nice. That's nice, you know, because I need certain comforts. I need certain comforts in life because things are starting to get real out here, man. There's a lot of different things happening. I don't know if you guys know this, but the reparations talks are sparking again. We had that shit out of California, but even more of an interesting reparations talk is happening right in the UK. There is a woman who is English, who her family lineage was traced to owning over 1,000 slaves. And so now she vows that her family will give reparations. And I just want to clap it up. Can we just clap it up for Britain right now? Clap it up for Britain right now. You know what I mean? Because the first ones to have colonialism, and now they're the first ones to give back. You know, because I feel like so much when it comes to Western Europe, all they do is shit on America. Oh, America, you guys are the ones that did the bad. No, nigga, y'all did the bad shit. Okay? Y'all did the bad shit. White people, yes, white people in America are terrible, but you know what? They learned it from white people over there. All right? It's the same shit like basically when a parent catches their kid with a joint or something, they're like, where'd you learn this? It's like, I learned it from you, Dad. I learned it from you. That's what slavery is in Western Europe and in America. Okay, we might have America might have done it terribly into the worst, and you know, a lot of bad shit happened. But you know what? They learned it from you, motherfuckers. So how about you be the first ones to cough up some shit, and America's gonna be coughing up some shit too. If I have a thing or two to say too, everybody's gonna be coughing up shit. Pause. Okay, but this shit's crazy. This woman, I believe she's some sort of like TV personality, which I also think is clever too. If you've been noticing, there's been a lot of different articles about like TV personalities and celebrities finding out that their families own slaves. What a surprise. An extremely rich, wealthy white person who's had a extremely rich, wealthy white family for centuries possibly owned slaves. Who would have thought? You know, yeah, you have Ed Norton, I think there were a couple other people, and then you have this lady, which I like, because I think that's actually secretly the plan. You know what I mean? Where it's basically like, I think the U.S. government has decided like things are getting so crazy with race and this, that, and the third that like reparations might actually be a good idea. Plus, let's not lie, if we are, if you're talking American economy type shit, in order to stimulate an American economy, doing something like that, giving people mass amounts of money that they are owed, by the way, that they're owed in order for them to spend, buy land, do things like that, could possibly boost things in the future. But I think there's like this whole collective like war room Illuminati plan that like, all right, so we might give black people reparations, but if we do, what we have to do is start subtly planting seeds of extremely rich white people who can trace their lineages back to slaves. That way, the poor whites won't lose their minds and burn everything. Because that's the thing. It's like if you see, like it's different. If fucking Edward Norton has to give away money, but Cletus from fucking West Virginia doesn't have to, it's not as bad. They're still going to be upset. They're still going to be angry. Okay. They're still going to be, eating cereal with water because they can't afford milk and blame it on black people. Okay. Those things are going to happen. And by the way, I've eaten cereal with water as well too. So, I'm here and my heart goes out to you, but don't blame it on blacks. Okay. They're still going to do that. They're still going to do that. They're still going to have these problems. They're still going to have these issues. But if Edward Norton is there, it sugarcoats the issue just a little bit. Just a little bit. Am I wrong? Am I right or am I right? Can we just say that? And especially now you got a Brit in the whole thing. Now you got a British person, all right? So now they're even more removed. So now they're like, all right, like, they're still going to be angry because they just hate niggas regardless. But now it's going to help just a little bit, just a smidge, which I'm happy for, But this woman, I don't remember her name because I didn't really research this very much, because that's the point of false prophets. Okay, we like to work fast and loud, baby. We like to blow through the door. We kick through that bitch and don't know what we're gonna do next. All right, but yeah, I was reading about the woman. Apparently, she is a host on some show on BBC or something like that. Her family lineage has been traced back to owning over 1,000 slaves. And she vows that she will give, drum roll please, $120K to the ancestors of those 1,000 slaves. Which, seems a little low. Am I crazy? I don't want to be that guy, but seems a little low. And this is the one unforeseen thing that I think that is going to come with this whole reparations thing is, when it's a high amount, it's going to seem like justice has been served. But when it's a low amount, it's going to seem like a bad Yelp review. Okay? Anybody else feel like that way? Like, bro, if my family has been through slavery, not just my family, but multiple families have been through slavery and were owned by a different person, and all they offer me is $120K. Okay, I live in New York City, all right? $120K is gone in 2 fucking days. $120K is fucking nothing for owning a person. Okay, I know everybody's gonna be ready. This like, actually, no. Okay, for owning a guy and his family, and then separating him from his wife and his children, and selling his daughter and selling his fucking wife and probably having sex with them and this, that. No, it is not worth $120,000. That is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, like I said, dude, when it's high, it's going to seem like justice. When it's low, it's going to seem like a Yelp review. Because when you're saying you're paying somebody $120,000, what you're saying is, we've seen your work, and it could have been better. Those hedges are looking a little long. So we'll pay you for time served, but that is about it. And I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that, America. I don't know how I feel about that. But then again, I don't really have a stake in the fight because, like I said, my family's Jamaican, so I won't be getting reparations, and I'm not mad at all, and I'm not projecting. That is a weird instance, though, to be a black person who knows full well that you will never receive reparations in any way, shape, or form. Especially as, like, I am Jamaican, but I am also an American, so I've dealt with black racism in America, and that's where I know racism to come from. So basically, everything that I've dealt with was a byproduct of slavery, but I still will not receive any restitution for that trauma. And you know what? I think every other person would probably be hurt by that, a little bit pissed. But as a stand-up comedian, I'm used to getting fucked over. Okay? As a stand-up comedian, I'm used to taking constant emotional abuse, and then people telling me, you mind if I Venmo you in about a week? That's what I'm used to. So basically what I'm saying is stand-up comedy has gotten me totally prepared for slavery. So if anybody's looking for, a little dungeon boy to have in your basement, I'm your guy. Come to me. Oh my God. What else is happening? We'll get off the slave talk. Because no one's here. I can't interact with anybody, but I can already tell that anyone listening to this is obviously tense. So we're gonna move things over. Kyrie Irving is getting traded from the New York Nets, and if you guys don't know, me and Kyrie are actually friends and stuff. So I made sure to leave him a little voicemail and stuff like that about just being proud of him and everything, and him sticking to his guns about wanting to go to a different place. Oh, I think I got a text message. Yeah, it's from Kyrie. It says, thanks. Can't wait to get out of New York City. I think I'm just going to call him later. Good guy. But no, Kyrie, he's doing his thing. I don't fucking know. I don't know where he's going to go. I'm not a basketball fan. I'm not a sports guy. I don't care about any of that stuff, okay? I'm not your typical guy, all right? Which makes me interesting. Like me, okay? I'm not your typical male, all right, guys? I have no idea where Kyrie's going to go, but I'm proud of him. I mean, he was obviously uncomfortable being in Brooklyn. For so long, and even before the whole Black Israelite thing, I think he just did not want to be on the Brooklyn Nets anymore for quite a long time, and I think that's okay. So I'm happy for the brother. Salute the brother. Yeah. I think it's good to stick to your guns. I think this is something that came out of him sticking to his guns, and which is one thing that I'm wondering. It's like, because people have been talking about how Kyrie wants to get out of his contract and how they don't even think he wants to play basketball anymore. And it's like, so do you think he just started making a bunch of anti-Semitic comments in order to get out of playing basketball? I wonder. I mean, that's a hell of a way to do something, but he's an innovator. What do you want to say? He's an MVP. He's a star player when it comes to causing controversy and playing on the basketball court. So more love to him. I hope he's happy wherever the fuck he goes. But we're gonna go from one brother to a brother from another mother. I feel like we got to talk about this Leonardo DiCaprio shit that's coming out. Motherfuckers want to treat this nigga like he's Harvey Weinstein, and I'm ready for the smoke. I'm ready for the smoke because Leonardo DiCaprio is somebody who, he has lived a life of subjugation and oppression. It's a hard life out here for straight white men. And I think it's about time that we all sit here and think about it, okay? Especially famous straight white men, okay? Don't you go attack him. All right? I mean, I might be saying this because, I'm upset seeing, an oppressed group like straight white men be oppressed, or it might also just be because, the thought of 18, 19, 21-year-old pussy isn't the worst idea, and I'm not so mad at this nigga. I'll be real. I think that's the one thing that people don't want to actually say, and so many dudes don't want to actually like put out there. But the simple fact is, he's living a life that most of us would be living. I also think too, in this weird way, like they're dramatizing the situation. So I think really what's happening, right, is that like, because you read all these papers, because this whole thing has been going on for quite a while. We've all seen it. We all saw the fucking Twitter bar graph that some loser with way too much time on his hands decided to make. The one thing we need to realize is that Leonardo DiCaprio is not like us, okay? He's not regular 48. He's famous rich guy 48, which is really regular guy 27, okay? So I feel like he's still in the same ballpark of what he needs to be in. And of course, like, dude, like, you're thinking about this, it's like he's super famous. He's a good looking dude. He has all sorts of money, and he's not in relationships with these women. I think that's another thing that I think is constantly portrayed. It's like Leo's dating another 19-year-old. Leo's, engaged to it. It's like, bro, he's not dating these girls, bro. They're coming on his yacht, and he's coming on them, okay? And then he sends them out, and he gets a new crop of them. That's all that's happening. He seems like a regular fucking guy that just, who has a shit ton of money and just bangs models all the time. And when you bang models all the time, you're looking for the ones that are young, really hot, and are new on the scene. And I don't really blame him for it. I would be doing the same thing. Okay? So shout out to the boy Leo. Man. Keep your head up. Man. And also, too, why are people surprised by any of this shit? I feel like he showed you this energy for a really long time. You know what I mean? I mean, like, back in the day, what was it? Like, I'm a big, like, Hollywood celebrity, like, kind of story type guy. So I know a lot of, like, Hollywood history. And I remember, was it, like, in the early 90s, it was, like, him, Tobey Maguire, David Blaine, if you could believe it, which sounds weird, and, like, a couple other guys. They used to roll around when they were like young actors, and they called themselves the Pussy Posse. Like, they called themselves the Pussy. So if a dude already, even if he's only 20 years old, he's calling him and his friends the Pussy Posse, you can already assume that he's the type of guy, who's gonna bang a couple barely legal chicks. All right, and there's nothing wrong with that. Leo does not seem like the type of guy who is looking for love. And I, for one, think that all celebrities should be allowed to be as vapid and short-sighted and shallow as they want to be. And if you're going to take anything away from this episode of False Prophets Podcast, it's that. Bang people you want to who are hot and legal. And do whatever the fuck you want. Because most people who judge you for doing what you want are just jealous. I'm Phil Risden. I'm wearing a pink sweater. And I'm telling you to own the goddamn world. We'll see you later. This has been the False Prophets Podcast. Peace.